So for a slightly different perspective, we've invited Nico Genet of Strategic Mobility Group, or SMG3, to give us a partner's point of view of the changing dynamics in the warehouse. Nico, welcome. Good to see you again.
Thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure to have you. So can you tell us just a little bit about the primary business of SMG3, please?
So we're a systems integrator working in the mobility space, mostly in manufacturing, supply chain, as well as T&L and warehousing. So it seems right now our biggest push has been Android migration.
So having provided systems integration for nearly 20 years, how are warehouse customers' use case requirements changing given the impact of e-commerce, picking pieces, so ones and twos versus pallets, and then expedited shipping expectations?
Well, that's a great question. The Amazon effect seems to be hitting everybody. So what we're seeing is the retail stores starting to slow down in space while the warehousing is starting to increase. And we're starting to see smaller warehouses starting to make their ways out to where the actual communities are. So instead of case pick and pallet pick, we're starting to move to each pick.
That's a helicopter view. So help me understand, how are you positioning Android in warehouse in your sales engagements?
Well, another great question. I think with the sunsetting of Windows Mobile 6.5 as well as CE, people really need to start adopting Android. And we've kind of took that on long ago just to ensure that the customers have the bandwidth to actually accept Android. It's not as easy because customers are a little worried about the consumerization of the operating system, but with MX extensions and everything that Zebra offers, we're finding that customers, they aren't ready, but when they start seeing all of that, that movement into it has been a lot easier. And with VC80X and MC33 launching last year, the MC9300 has been a perfect spot for that industrial product that's purpose-built that's been missing at this point.
So you mentioned earlier mobility DNA, and you talked a little bit about some of the value that we have in that. Are you seeing that as a differentiator?
I think, yeah, if end users aren't hearing about it and system integrators like myself aren't really bringing that to the market, I think that's a big miss because customers don't want a consumer-grade Android. They need more that's available to them from MX extension stage now, as well as that ripping out of the consumer Android. They want that security, and if they don't know about it, the first thing they're going to have is a lot of fear on Android, and they're going to have that slower absorption rate.
So speaking of security, how is LifeGuard helping you position Android in the warehouse?
Well, that brings, that not only does that extend an older Android, that provides all of the updates, the drivers, the radio drivers, the secure patches that Android puts out monthly. That provides it to the customer, either from a scan from Stage Now or an MDM pushing that out. It's a must-have.
So tell me, what are your initial impressions of the MC93, and do you think it will have an ability to meet these requirements in a very highly demanding warehouse and retail environment?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, right now we don't have that industrial design from an Android perspective as a full key. The MC33 had lacked the drop spec and everything, but was a perfect timing for that product a year ago. And now the 9300 that people have starting to see the long in the tooth of the 9000, the 91, 92, they're ready to move. It's just that we've got to make sure that those customers understand Android, and the 9300 has everything. With the MX extensions, the larger display, the 2D integrated scanner, the battery life that really doubles or triples the life of the 92, I think it's in a perfect spot to really be accepted well and really run the gamut.
Very good. Thank you, Nico. And just like our ISV partners, the expertise that SMG3 and many of our other partners bring to the customer in creating an end-to-end solution is clearly invaluable. Thank you very much for your contribution and the elements that you've put into this broadcast and being an excellent partner with Zebra Technologies.